Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, February the 21st, 2024. I am Gerald Bryan. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. International banks urged to set up in Guyana as opportunities for investments expand. Guyana ready to partner with St. Lucia to drive its housing industry, President Ali. GTT launches BRAVA service after US $200 million in upgrades over past decade. STARR Computers introduces free EV charging station for customers. Family urges proper probe as baby dies after receiving injections at BERBICE Health Center. And quarantine laborers stabbed to death during row over cell phone. Now for the news in detail. Many projects are unfolding across Guyana as the country positions itself to be a powerhouse for a number of industries. And as a result, the country's Finance Minister, Dr. Ashley Singh, has called on regional and international banks to set up operations here to capitalize on this boom. Here is Trishelle Sobers with our lead story tonight.
During his remarks on the third day of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo, Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh reiterated that transformation is taking place in every sector of the economy, and Guyana is the premier destination for investment worldwide. Further, he outlined the government's current investment priorities, noting that the administration's aim of building for the future and expanding non-oil sectors so that the country is not solely reliant on its oil and gas industry. On this point, Dr. Singh posited that the private sector has been responsive to these investment priorities. However, access to financing remains a challenge.
Many of our domestic banks are still relatively small, and they have still relatively modest balance sheets, and so there's a limit beyond which the domestic banks they have been responding, but there's a limit beyond which they are challenged to respond, and so there's an opportunity even for international banks to do business in Guyana.
Foreign banking interest is not non-existent, according to Dr. Singh. Multilateral financing institutions like the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank are among those supporting projects in Guyana. IDB Invest, which works with the region's private sector, is an example of a foreign bank helping to fund private sector-led projects in Guyana. Dr. Singh said there are other opportunities for both regional and international banks to come to Guyana and support the private sector, particularly those with clear, bankable projects.
Guyana could quite easily and obviously be considered to be the regional hub for whichever investments you might be considered and whatever commercial or business operations you might be considering to locate in Guyana. In many cases, some of these companies have contracts with Exxon or with Exxon's Tier 1 contractors, and so they are very, very bankable prospects.
Late last year, it was reported that the government was in talks with at least two major United States-based commercial banks on expanding their services here. The two banks in question are Bank of America and Citibank. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
In a bid to minimize the country's carbon footprint while addressing energy disparity, the government will be procuring 10,000 solar photovoltaic home systems for INT'L households this year. This announcement was made by Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips on the third day of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo. Here is Trishelle Sobers again with the details.
While it was not disclosed how many families will benefit from this batch of solar PV systems, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips noted that the formerly known as the 30,000 Solar Home Systems Project was designed to balance the energy gap between the urban and rural areas, simultaneously propelling the nation towards sustainable, eco-friendly power sources. PM Phillips added that when the next batch of 10,000 systems arrive in Guyana, they will be transported and subsequently installed in villages in regions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8.
In the hinterland of Guyana, we now have power, electric power through solar technology, where the schools have power, the health centers have power, the administrative offices, the police station, and other administrative buildings. Again, resulting in us bridging the energy divide through greater use of renewables. It is important to understand that Guyana is ready to forge steadily forward as a leader in sustainable development. And these are the initiatives that are contributing to this goal.
During his remarks to those participating in the conference, the Prime Minister also issued a call for global leaders to mobilize action and raise awareness on the universal transition to clean energy. He posited that clean energy is pivotal to Guyana's energy transformation and long-term sustainability goals. Hence, the Guyana government is willing to work along with the world to achieve the goal of transitioning to renewable. So far, government has adopted robust policies, cost-effective technologies, and energy-efficient solutions to provide Guyanese with equitable and affordable access to clean energy.
Guyana is mindful of its international commitments, including, as I mentioned before, the Paris Agreement and Sustainable Development Goals. As a new oil-producing country, we recognize the opportunity before us to demonstrate balanced, sustainable development that caters to the needs of our citizens.
A total of $95.7 billion has been allocated in the 2024 budget for the energy sector. Of that sum, $1.3 billion will go towards energy expansion and diversification. Trishelle Sowers, Evening News.
Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali, current chairman of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, today addressed the St. Lucian Parliament and embraced the opportunity to call for the region to unite in tackling systemic regional disparities. Specifically, he spoke about how Guyana can offer support to its sister CARICOM nation in the area of housing. Here is more. On the occasion of St. Lucia's 45th independence anniversary, President Dr. Irfaan Ali on Wednesday addressed the St. Lucian Parliament. The President used the occasion to urge St. Lucia and the region to work together in addressing systemic regional challenges.
We have to face the same difficulties that those that are not part of the region don't face. If you look at the time it takes to open a bank account in the US versus the time it takes to open a bank account in the region, it's chalk to cheese. It's chalk to cheese. And then we speak about, that there is no disparity in the system. There is systemic disparity. There is systemic disparity. And the only way we can address systemic disparity is if, as a region, we stand up against systemic disparity. Slavery was defeated because we came together as a community, as a people, as regions together, and fought the system of slavery. We have to fight the system of inequality.
The President also made a pitch for increased partnerships between the private sectors of Guyana and St. Lucia. This could see the two countries tackling regional hurdles to food production and even working together on the housing market, which he noted has huge export potential.
And let us say, conservatively, you have a deficit in the housing market of 2,500 homes in the next 3 to 5 years. That is the immediate need, the medium-term need. And you use a conservative figure of $30,000 US for a low-income home. That is what we are building, prefab homes in Guyana. You're looking at a export potential of $75 million US in the immediate and medium term from Guyana to St. Lucia. That export potential in this one area alone is more than a combined export in the last 10 years. And these are the opportunities, the real opportunities that exist in expanding the relationship and expanding the trade between Guyana and St. Lucia.
Further, he noted that the region must come together on a common technological platform in order to accelerate regional integration. The President also emphasized his goals for Guyana's healthcare system to be able to support the region. According to the President, the intention is to fulfill the region's healthcare needs at a fraction of the cost paid for it outside of the region.
As I speak to you now, we are working on a program that allows telemedicine to be operable in the hinterland of Guyana, linked to the best hospitals, and also linked now to India, the US, major hospitals out of India and the US. I think there's an opportunity for us to link your hospitals, your health centers, your healthcare system with our healthcare system so that we can exchange ideas, we can exchange thoughts, we can share knowledge. But more importantly, the way healthcare is, the direction healthcare is going in, is that robotics is now used a lot in surgeries, in the healthcare system. So you can have a specialist operating out of Guyana or St. Lucia or India, helping surgeons in our small economies, in our small healthcare system, in their work.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News. Telecoms giant GTT today launched its BRAVA service following US $200 million worth of investments over the past decade spent in upgrading its infrastructure that will now see the company extending its regional footprint and rolling out a suite of new services for Guyanese companies. Here are the details. The launch of the BRAVA service took place on Day 3 of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo 2024. Chief Executive Officer Conor McGowan-Smith explained that GTT has made in excess of a US $200 million investment in upgrading its systems leading up to this launch.
So very simply what BRAVA is, it's a next generation solutions provider. So over the last 10 years, we've spent over $200 million US dollars on fiber investments, on investments in our mobile network. And what BRAVA represents is the evolution of that and the services that we want to provide over the top of that network. So we will, as Richard mentioned, I won't go into too much detail. We have our Connect and our Synergy service sets, so BRAVA Connect. That is a suite of services that will be delivered over our fiber network and our mobile network that allow you very simple tools that enable your business. What our Synergy portfolio is, it enables things like virtual meetings, business email, and unified collaboration services. And now, as the business landscape evolves here in Guyana, we have BRAVA Stronghold and BRAVA Cloud.
Smith further explained that cybersecurity and cloud solutions are also offered tailored for Guyanese customers. He described BRAVA as a dedicated business arm with regional backing and went on to describe some of the services that will be launched.
You're going to see lots of new products being launched over the next 5 years. Starting on March 1st, we're launching a new internet service security product. So just really exciting times. Thank you to Richard. Fantastic conference. Thank you so much. And just really excited about where this evolution is going to take us.
Richard Stanton, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, CEO of GTT, meanwhile told those gathered of the company's regional push. He explained that they have the capabilities to provide services throughout the Caribbean and the Americas.
And a lot of the customers that we have a regional presence. So up to last year, they were dealing with my colleagues in Bermuda, my colleagues in Cayman. What we've done now is create a business where you only need to speak to one set of people. So if you've got a pan-Caribbean or pan-American business, now there's a company that can do everything for you all in one place. So that's what we've done. Our customers told us last year they found it confusing. They wanted us to make it simpler for them. So that is what BRAVA is.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News. As part of its commitment to carbon neutrality and technological innovation, STARR Computers Inc. is introducing a free charging station for electric vehicles outside its Lot 59 Brickdam, Georgetown location. Details in his Vanu Manikchan report.
The electric vehicle charging station at STARR Computers Inc. will be powered by solar energy and will be available to customers during business hours. According to the company's CEO Michael Mohan, this initiative enhances the shopping experience and is also aligned with Guyana's broader ambitions in transitioning to sustainable energy.
At STARR Computer, we decided that we're going to make a difference. We're going to try to find a midpoint between the two and get everything going. So the first thing we decided to do was to, well, why not try to make charging free to the public? But how do we do it that makes sense? So what we've done, right now STARR is almost 50%. The energy we use at STARR is approximately 50%. Of our cost that we take from the sun, that we harness from the sun. And so why not give some of that free energy back to the public? So that is how the whole idea of free electric vehicle charge while you shop at STARR.
STARR Computers has already signed a contract with US-based manufacturer Loop to bring in their best-in-class smart EV charging stations that can also be purchased by local companies. According to the businessman, STARR Computers will be offering seminars to sensitize the public on this product, as well as the benefits of switching to electric vehicles. In fact, he suggested that gas stations need to make that switch.
We will have to spend more time educating people on these electric chargers and the electric cars and the benefit you get when you have an electric car. You see, what people need to understand is that when you invest in an electric car, all you have to do is get yourself a consumer charging device, which is one similar to this. Right now, we are partnered with a company called Loop, and we will be distributing this in Guyana. We'd love to see companies like INT'L, that is stretched right across Guyana, that they can start installing, they can start working with us, working with the manufacturers through us, and let's bring out some fast chargers, one fast charger in every INT'L company throughout the country. Start giving the car dealers some confidence in bringing electric cars in.
Currently, government through the Guyana Energy Agency has installed at least 6 EV charging stations across the country. Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office for Investment, Dr. Peter Ramsarup, lauded STARR Computers for taking this step.
It would come more and more relevant as we encourage the build-out of these electric vehicles in Guyana. So this may look like a 1 or 2, go STARR and plug in your vehicle. I know the Guyana Energy Agency has been pushing this across the country, and I think we'll see a lot more of these, and maybe STARR Computer will set up the first large gas station or large electric vehicle station that 10 of us can drive in at the same time. And I look forward to seeing that hopefully very soon.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
The bilateral relationship between Guyana and the Dominican Republic has now been deepened after the Spanish-speaking country launched its Chamber of Commerce here on Tuesday. This newly established initiative will see the two countries aggressively fostering business ties with the aim of expanding their products and services. It was launched during the 2024 Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo at the Marriott Hotel in Kingston, Georgetown. The Dominican Republic Chamber of Commerce has been a significant investment plan, allowing it to function in the most diplomatic way possible and to build a keen line of communication with Guyana. Just a few days ago, a direct flight from Santo Domingo to Georgetown became operational. In other news, Dr. Richard Van West Charles has formally been accredited as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Ambassador Van West Charles presented his credentials to Nicolas Maduro Moros, President of Venezuela, at a ceremony held at the Miraflores Presidential Palace on Tuesday. Ambassador Van West Charles conveyed greetings from His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of Guyana, and the people of Guyana. He expressed his commitment to work towards advancing the relations between Guyana and Venezuela. President Maduro requested Ambassador Van West Charles to convey a message of high regard to President Ali, stating his great respect for the President and the people of Guyana. The presentation and subsequent acceptance of credentials signify the commitment of Guyana and Venezuela to uphold diplomatic norms and pursue avenues for enhanced bilateral cooperation. Coming up, dry docking facilities, financing for Kurupukari Bridge needed, INT'L tells investors, and New GPC Inc. co-hosts event to highlight emerging research on HIV care.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Guyana's agriculture sector is receiving tremendous support from oil companies to aid its expansion. Investment from oil companies in cutting-edge technology is increasing and improving Guyana's agricultural output. SBM Offshore Guyana and ExxonMobil Guyana Limited support two of the largest hydroponics farms in the country. Their support not only creates employment for Guyanese, but also helps CARICOM to reduce its food import bill by 25% by 2020.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage.
Come celebrate 1770 with us. It's our birthday. Yeah, celebrate 1770 with us. Yeah, it's our 17th anniversary, and we're celebrating in style by giving away $17 million in 17 days. Top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to be one of 17 lucky winners of $1 million. Don't miss your chance. Top up today. Digicel, 17 years of bringing you the best. Yeah. Come celebrate 1770 with us. It's our birthday.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A baby is now dead, and as we hear in this Andrew Carmichael report, the 3-month-old died 4 days after being given 4 injections at a health center in BERBICE. The baby's parents believe their child died from adverse reactions to the injections, and as such are calling on authorities to launch a proper probe.
Tashika Lachminarayan was born on November 12, 2023, weighing 980 grams as a 28-week premature birth at the Skeldon Hospital. The baby and her mother, Shaliza Lachminarayan, were taken to the New Amsterdam Hospital, where Tashika was placed in the neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, and remained there for 2 months. However, during her stay at the NICU, Tashika was given her first injection on January 30th, a vaccine called BCG. According to the infant's mother, she was asked to take the child to the number 64 Village Health Center for a checkup upon being released on February 14th.
Now when I take her, they weigh her, they check her length, her head, everything. So they tell me she have to have 4 injections, but 2 on her left, 1 on her right, and 1 for drink. That is a drop.
Those injections were administered. Rotavirus for diarrhea, the IPV, which is a polio vaccine, PVC-13, which is the fight against pneumonia. According to a source from the health center, since it was a premature born baby, the chances of the child picking up an infection were very high. The source explained that those injections are usually administered to babies at the age of 2 months, but in Tashika's case, they were given at 3 months. The source also pointed out that most children are born with an APGAR score of 8, 9, or 10, but Tashika's APGAR score was 235. The APGAR score is a quick way for health professionals to evaluate the health of a newborn at 1 to 5 minutes after birth. The higher the score, the better the baby is doing after birth.
So when I gave her, she cried hard, and the nurse tell me, if she have a fever, take her to the hospital, but no medication at home. So I am waiting for the fever, but my baby don't have no fever, but she have other symptoms in her body. Then in the afternoon, she react different. She start difference, like drinking her pop too slow. She's not crying, she just sleeping. Everything sleeping. And you go in every day, slow, till in Saturday afternoon. She got up more. She sleep early. How before in the night she's crying for her bobo. No, she just get quiet, and I get up, mix the pop. She suck a little bit. She sleep again. I run to the hospital. When I run now, I tell him, look, my baby, she's not react too much. Then she run with she in the room. And they press her heart and they put the thing on her mouth. And she's 75% heartbeat. In between 15 minutes and told me, my baby, it's gone.
The Lachminarines are calling for a proper investigation into the death of the child. Initially, the mother said she did not want a post-mortem to be performed on the body, but has since changed her mind. When they informed the Regional Health Authority of their decision, the family was told that they themselves will have to contact a pathologist. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
A quarantine laborer was last evening stabbed to death during a row over a cell phone valued at $20,000. Here is Andrew Carmichael again with the details.
The incident took place at number 63 Village, Quarantine at about 23 hours 30 and resulted in the death of 31-year-old Colin Tony, a laborer of the same village. Tony was stabbed several times, including once to his chest. The suspect is said to be a 24-year-old taxi driver of number 51 Village who goes by the alias Sugar. Tony's mother, Claire Hope, explained that the two men got involved in an argument over a cell phone earlier in the night. According to Hope, her son would have sold the taxi driver a phone for $20,000 but was not paid immediately. On Tuesday, Tony demanded payment.
He asked to buy for his money. The cell phone was $20,000 and the buy just gave him $5,000 and tell the buyer that keep the phone and keep the money, doesn't want that. And like he get into an argument and Colin left to go home. Probably like he black and he get cut on his hand. And he was like, my mother take me to the hospital, I love you, my mother, and I want you to look at my children and tell my brother that I love him, I must look at my children. And all I need is justice. And the bywords was like, I'm going to take you and make sacrifice after he stabbed him. And people gathered and he was like, who next? Who next? Who want to come to get sacrifice? And nobody didn't go to his rescue. Until
the man was rushed to the Skeldon Hospital and arrived there in a critical state. When they went there, was he still alive?
Yeah.
Did they transfer him or so?
When they going to transfer him, he died in the ambulance.
The woman is calling for justice, noting that Tony has left behind a wife and 3 children, ages 3, 5, and 7. Tony worked as a laborer on a farm owned by former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield. Up to news time, the suspect remained on the run. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Meanwhile, as the Guyana government looks to modernize the local maritime sector, Public Works Minister INT'L has disclosed that there are opportunities for investments to be made in dry docking facilities. The minister was at the time participating in a panel discussion on investing in Guyana, growing opportunities during the energy conference that is being held at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown. INT'L highlighted the work being done by the government to update the regulatory and legislative frameworks governing the local maritime sector and the abundance of opportunities available for investments such as in dry docking facilities. Here's what he said.
In the maritime sector, there are lots of opportunities because we have to deal with vessels. And one of the major investment opportunities that exists right now is dry docking. Every vessel must go into dry dock at a particular time. And I think we have very limited dry docking capabilities. And that is an opportunity that we need to see expand more, and there's a framework for that. Right now, if the demand for dry docking continues, everything that should be done here would either have to go to Trinidad or somewhere else to get it done. But we could get dry docking done right here. There's enough water, there's enough facilities. Private-public partnerships could definitely come into that. The Demerara River Bridge that is under construction, we are raising it 55 meters above the water level, which means everything south of the current Demerara River Bridge in the waterfront on both sides are available for development. We have a number of local persons who already own land, but they might not have all that it takes to get to the next wave of development that is required. Joint ventures, private-public partnerships for the development of facilities that will support agriculture, support tourism, support oil and gas is available.
With Guyana building out a corridor to connect with its surrounding neighbors in order to improve trade and ground transportation, the Linden to Lethem Road plays a major role as part of that connectivity. Works are presently ongoing at the Linden to Maburu section of that road network, a US $190 million project that includes the construction of 45 bridges. However, Public Works Minister INT'L has disclosed that another major component of that road, a superhighway to Brazil, is a bridge at the Curupukari crossing. The minister has consequently invited potential investors to explore this opportunity for a public-private partnership. Let's have a look.
There's lots of room for private-public partnerships. I can think immediately about another opportunity that exists. Minister Waldron spoke about the bridge that we are building at Wisba. That is about 200 meters. But on the road to Brazil, we are building 45 bridges, but there's still yet a major structure to make that road a 24-hour road. That's at Curupukari. It's a 600-meter bridge. There's a possibility there for an engagement for private-public partnership. Right now, it's a 12 to 14-hour road because you cross the trucks and the vehicles by way of a pontoon. Investments can come, make that 24 hours. People pay to cross on the pontoons. There may be some discussions on it being a toll bridge. That a great possibility exists there.
Meanwhile, as Guyana builds out a corridor of connectivity as a direct link to Brazil, Suriname, and even French Guyana, opportunities for investments along that road network have been identified. Public Works Minister INT'L told potential investors during a panel discussion at the Energy Conference earlier today that once the Linden to Lethem Highway is completed and vehicles start traversing it, there will be the need for rest stops.
If we're going to have that corridor of connectivity for the movement of people, goods, supplying support to oil and gas, and all that is happening, we have to be able to get all the structures in place, the bridges, the roads, and expanding the roads from just normal thoroughfares into highway standards to have greater accessibility, reduce travel time, putting in safety measures, and the rest of it. But there's one other opportunity I want to identify right now in that master plan, that framework. Once we're going to have trucking of commodities in that corridor, there is need for investors to start talking to go invest, and Dr. Ramsarup about rest stations for truckers, motels along the way, heavy-duty equipment services. Once you have trucks coming in, they need to be serviced, tires need to be fixed, the haulage of vehicles that are in trouble, because you just can't use any small hauler to move some of these trucks. So the possibilities keep climbing.
New GPC Inc., a local pharmaceutical company with international reach, has partnered with Midway Specialty Care Center to host an event aimed at shedding light on emerging research with regards to HIV medicine, care, and treatment. The forum aligns with the government's established agenda to continue to provide adequate services to persons living with the virus. Trishelle Sobers has details.
The medical education session was hosted at the Pegasus Corporate Suites on Tuesday. It was organized by the Midway Specialty Care Center and New GPC Incorporated. Presentations were made by Doctors Moti Ramgopal and Joel Galliand on curing HIV and long-term treatment success. The event was also addressed by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, who lauded the renowned physicians for their work in the medical field, noting that research such as theirs is why Guyana was able to advance its HIV program. According to Dr. Anthony, Guyana has made significant progress towards eliminating HIV as a public health concern.
It has been a long period, and I think when we look back, we can see where we came from and the changes, the transformation that would have happened in HIV medicine and care. So we would like to eliminate HIV as a public health concern by 2030. And we are following the broad trajectory of the WHO and UNAIDS and others.
Dr. Anthony added that while his ministry was able to implement a robust HIV program, efforts are still ongoing to get more people to access care and treatment.
We're working on elimination of mother-to-child transmission, so that too, hopefully by next year we can achieve that. We're not so far off. We have introduced PrEP, not just for serodiscordant couples, but to make sure that persons who are at risk can have access to it. We have introduced self-testing. So there are a whole host of changes that would have happened with our program.
Among some of the issues raised during the discussion is the need to have fair and barrier-free access to HIV therapy, freedom from stigma and discrimination, and clinical monitoring systems. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Thursday, February 22, 2024 at 3 hours 30 for 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE Bridge is expected to be closed at 15 hours 5 on Thursday, February 22, 2024 for 1.5 hours.
Antigua and Barbuda Falcons replaces Jamaica Tallawahs in CPL, and AAG names 23-member Carifta team. Details of these stories in the Sportscast sponsored by McCorp coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvie's has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvie's Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Come celebrate 1770 with us. It's our 17th anniversary and we are celebrating with up to 40% discount on handsets. Get the Samsung A05 for just $16,000 or go for the Samsung A15 for just $29,000 or the Samsung A245 for just $35,000. But wait, there's more. You also get 1 month free data plan with any handset purchase. Limited time offer. Hurry to a Digicel store today. 17 years of bringing you the best. 1770 with us.
In 2024, $240.1 billion from oil revenues will be channeled into the country's development. These funds will support the government's investment into infrastructural developments, welfare programs, and improvement in the people's standard of living.